Being able to set boundaries and expectations with your customers is so important in the real estate industry. I'm Shayna Armstrong, team leader of Keller Williams Success Realty here in Panama City Beach, Florida. You are tuning into Lessons Learned from 2025, where I get to sit down with producing agents and talk about the lessons that they learned in a shifting market last year. Today, I get to sit down with Sabina Balch, and we talk a little bit about setting boundaries with people and protecting your mental health in this industry. So let's get into it.
Feels good to be champions, champions. Feels good to be champions.
Hey everyone, I am here with Sabina Balch, and she is going to share with us some lessons learned from 2025. Before we start though, Sabina has recently capped and she ended Q1 in our top 20%, which is amazing. So I'm sure that we'll hear great things from her. So what was your biggest lesson learned last year?
Hi guys, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Sabina Balch. Like she said, I capped and I had an amazing year, but that came with some challenges to me mentally. Real estate, having a family takes a toll on you. So my biggest lesson learned was prioritizing yourself and your mental health. There's a lot of behind the scenes that happens in a real estate transaction, and it's not just the transaction itself, it could be very personal. So, learning to set boundaries and having good communication skills with your family, your clients, and knowing how you operate under stress is very important. So, that is my biggest lesson learned.
I love that. So many of us get into the industry, and as we're getting going, so many people want so many things from us. So getting boundaries set and expectations with people is so important because if not, we're doing deals at midnight, and that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like when you first start, a lot of agents are unknown to that. They just want to get that deal happening. And I was one of those. I would respond at 10 o'clock at night because that's the only time that I got for myself, phone uninterrupted. So whenever they would message me, I would message back and then entertain that. And that's just not healthy because you have to separate work life and home life, your life.
Yes, absolutely. And it's hard as an independent contractor.
It is.
But my next question is, so with all the great things that you're doing, what's one of your main lead generation strategies for this year?
Okay, so I had a really great year last year. So a lot of those clients are referring me business, which is really nice. I specialize in military PCSing, first time home buyers. So that is my number one source. I just got into buying leads, which I'm experimenting with. So that will be my second. And then my other one is social media. So I've had people reach out from Korea. I have a listing right now that came from TikTok. It's a condo listing,
Wow.
and then I've had people from Alaska refer their cousin to me. So social media is a really big one. You just have to be engaging and consistent in that.
What drives you to use social media? Like why was that one of your, and you're so great at it. So what was like the thing that drove you to that?
So honestly, social media is like the number one AI. Everything is just coming up from that, and I really didn't want to do it. It is an uncomfortable thing, but putting yourself out there and being open to that, and just giving your stories perspective. Us sitting here like this, talking of all the transactions we've had, people want to relate to you with that, and if they see that you have experience under your belt and you've had a transaction where you had to deal with an inspection gone wrong or whatever, people resonate with that and they think that you have that understanding, like, oh, she would be good at this because what if the deal does fall apart? She's a very professional. And you can see that through somebody whenever they're posting and being authentic.
I love that. Well, any last advice you want to share with people?
Um, I don't know. There's so much to share and there's so many lessons learned on my end. What I want to share with everyone is just keep strong and everything works out and the perfect timing is now. So start now, even if it's hard.
Yeah. And like you said when we were talking earlier, you're like, get to work.
Yes.
Right? And, we have to keep grinding. So I love that.
Yes, always. I feel like I'm forever be grinding, but it's because of I want to retire. It just depends on your goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm grinding hard now, and I think again, another thing is grind hard now so you can retire when you're older.
Yay, good. Well, thank you so much, Sabina, and thanks for tuning in.